Yo, 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 what's going on, man? Jeremiah Black Development Network. Hey, man, I appreciate the subs. The subs are going up. I appreciate you guys commenting. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe, and make sure you turn the notifications on so you guys can know when I go live, which will not be this month. It'll probably be the end of next month because June is my birthday month. So I will be making content, but I'll also be at home with my family a lot. So I appreciate everybody who has been showing love, showing interest, and just showing criticism, man. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with criticizing me. I answer for the most part, unless it's just like a point blanket statement that you said or something like that. I'm not really into doing too much like going back and forth as far as like insulting people. Like I'd rather have the conversation so that we can come to a perspective, and that's what this channel is. It's commentary with conversation. My opinions aren't finite. I don't present them as such. So let's get into this one. Get out the way, man. Um, I said that I was gonna make a Wade versus Roe video, but I kind of it's crazy how timing comes into play. So I happened to catch this video on TikTok. We are now back on TikTok. I got to make sure I put that down there. I think it's just Black Development Network. You'll find us, and you'll find if you're on TikTok. But this a young lady that I followed previously uploaded. This is from somebody else's, and I didn't even know his name was like right here. So that's his TikTok, whatever. But let's talk about his points, and then I'll get into kind of like how I feel from a male perspective. So let's get it.
Abortions are totally fine. It's the woman's body, her choice, her body, her choice. Her body, her choice. If it was her body and her choice, if it was her body, then she'd be the one getting aborted. Yeah, right.
Uh, let's start there, and also let me say he's doing like these back and forth conversations. You know what niggas do on the internet. Um, so let's start with that one. First of all, why would she get aborted? And it lets me know that like some men don't understand what abortions are for and what they're actually doing and things like that, right? So let's start here. Let's start with this one. I don't. This isn't really much of an argument or anything like that, but the reason why you're getting rid of there's plenty of reasons why you have an abortion. It's not just to get rid of the child. Abortions are also to get rid of the embryo or whatever you want to the scientific term for it safely. Some women, even though they are developing a child, will die if that child comes to term. Some women can't have children. Their body will not allow them to have children again, choosing between the child and the mother. And I'm gonna be honest with you, in my opinion, I'm choosing the mother because at the end of the day, she is here, she is healthy, and there's no sure chance that that child would even survive. You also have abortions that help you get rid of the child in if the child has a defect or something like that. If the child will not live, that's what abortions are also for as well. Is to get rid of the child that will not make it as well. So for anybody who just thinks that women are just going to Planned Parenthood and just dumping children out left and right, that is not the case. That is misinformation as well. And I think this is what this brother is spreading as well when he just says, then you would just terminate the woman. Why would you terminate a person who is clearly healthy here, healthy enough to live on their own and things like that? That's pretty much the simple way to explain it. So, but we can have that conversation in the chat. Let me know your opinion.
Also, if it's called terminating a pregnancy, then what are we terminating if it's not living?
Um, what? The 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 definition for termination is simply, I mean, basically getting rid of. Okay, you can terminate a contract. It's not. I don't know why he thinks that like termination, or the use of the word terminating is just used on living things. We terminate contracts all the time. But hey, I guess whatever helps you. But and here's the thing about like these arguments too. People are struggling so hard to try to create these arguments about abortions and stuff like that. They try to use religion and all that stuff when none of that has to do with a woman and her body and how she perceives it. But let's get into his. I think this is his last point, but
Rape. Women who get raped. What do you think she should have women who get kids who get raped and are get pregnant? Yeah, rape is only associated with like 1 or 2% of all abortions, so it's not really applicable.
how is it not applicable when they are they use that procedure, sir? So let's also talk about that as well. And this is also where, I know I talk about this a lot in the manosphere, where a lot of times data is not present when it comes to reality. Most women don't report rapes. So even if they are associated with 1 or 2 rapes, that's also to report that that's also bent on the woman reporting that she's been raped and things like that. And some women will not talk about that process as well. So it probably 1 or 2%. It probably would shoot up tremendously if we talked about that situation, not including rapes that happen within the family and things like that. So it might not be like a drastic increase, but brother, here's the thing: you're trying so hard to reach for a conversation that just it isn't applicable to your conversation. You can't take away a conversation that needs to happen in this case. And again, a lot of times, man, rapists like to use children as trophies. That's what they see them as. So when they have sex with these women and they force these women, and they end up giving this woman a child. Sometimes, you know what I mean. Hey, that child is a product of a terrible, terrible situation that should have never happened. A terrible, terrible crime that should have never happened as well. And forcing women to have children in those situations will have the kid grow up unloved. It will have the kid grow up in terrible mental situations where the mother is not necessarily blaming the child, but because this child is a product of that situation, it becomes uh, it becomes a bad broken home. It becomes a broken home, basically. So, but like I said, again, you're reaching so far with these conversations. There's so much more I could say to that, but I think he has a little bit more.
It doesn't matter. Still happens. Still happens. Rape victims. That still happens. What are you gonna say about that? Um, you're gonna punish the baby for what someone else did? How is that logical?
What? Um, that's weird. That's a weird. Again, like you can see him like reaching. I also want to have a situation with like us black folks. This is like Black Development Network, right? Like, let's have a conversation with us, black folks and things like that, because like a lot of times, man, that conversation rounds out to the conversation of chance, right? Well, you got to give that child a chance on this earth, or things like that, man. Um, I live in the United States, and the United States is, I think, like 80% working class to poor class, right? We can probably say majority of those classes are built off of broken homes, especially within the black community, right? So, and what does that, translate to? A lot of that translates to having kids when when kids are unintended, when they come from situations in which we're just out here fucking and we're not really using protection and things like that, and the child is just out here. Um, and again, either parents are not, ready to have the child, and so the dad leaves because he didn't imagine having a child with this woman. And again, this Roe versus Wade situation, it builds a bigger conversation that we need to have within ourselves, within the Black community as well, where we need to start to develop intent behind having children, in order for them to actually have a chance. Fellas, if you feel like you don't like that situation, to where this woman is getting rid of that child, then have a child by the woman that you want to that wants to have your child. That means have that communication come up. That means have that wherewithal um, to talk about when do you plan on having children. Give a date, an age, or things like that. In the Black community, personally, I think we need to be more intentional when it comes to these things. Otherwise, we're gonna continue to fail economically, because with more children within these families, um, it actually um, prevents us from having opportunities and things like that. Now the women have to use welfare to kind of catch up, and if you know me, you know how I feel about welfare and these government assisted programs that you know to me keep us down within um, our culture. But again, going back to this issue, I mean, you're building an argument um, off of trying to guilt trip women. When that baby is not here yet, most pregnancies, most abortions happen before you feel a heartbeat, or before it is considered living. Um, I don't feel any guilt for any woman that wants to go and have a child within uh, this particular case. Let me
About
get
little
back
girls who
to.
can't have kids? What about them, huh? What about them? Who get pregnant? Biologically, if you haven't had your period yet, you can't get pregnant, and if you have had your period yet, you can't get pregnant.
That's actually not true, but that's another false narrative. But anyway, all in all, man, my final thoughts on this video. Ooh, go back out. My final thoughts on this video is, fellas. I mean, we can say my body, my choice, right? We like that. I feel like that's the obvious choice when it comes to this conversation. But I'm gonna give 2 points. Number one, if you nut in her, she has all rights to either keep or get rid of that child. Uh, there's a reason why God, creator, universe, it doesn't matter who what the fuck you think about. There's a reason why he gave you sperm and he gave her the egg. He gave you the responsibility to give, and she has the responsibility to take and create. So once you give up that nut, dog, once you give it up, hey man, it's on her. It's nothing that you can do. But personally, I would love to see Roe and Wade still intact, because I mean, at the end of the day, man, we're gonna go back to women mysteriously falling downstairs, or trying to get rid of these pregnancies. They gonna get rid of these pregnancies if they don't want them, big dog. It's a really big mental strain on women. And we can talk about postpartum. We could talk about the mental um, trial that they go through during the pregnancies and things like that. My other point is very, very simple. You'll be surprised that, and I've been telling people this, y'all niggas have been saved by abortions. You've been saved by them. There's been plenty of times where men have nut in women, and they go and do a pregnancy test in secret, and they come out pregnant, and they go to that abortion clinic because they can't stand to see your face when you're like, oh no, a child is on the way. They can't stand to see that they are not in a economic position to take care of that child. There's a lot of women that go to that clinic unbeknownst to the husband, or the boyfriend. Probably not the husband, but let's say the husband too. It probably has happened before. But a lot of times, man, hey, we gotta watch what we do and we say on this internet when it comes to this stuff, man. It's still my body, my choice, but also there's a lot of um, points that make this applicable to women. So I know I've been rambling and stuff like that, man. Like, subscribe, comment, peace. I probably wasn't the most logical, explanation, but we can always have the conversation in the chat. All right. Peace out.